Okay, let's take a look at the skill practice activity. I've actually split the skill practice activities into two, one for naming alkanes and another one for naming alkenes, but the rules are still the same. So let's take a look at what we have here. We're just going to be following those rules that we did earlier in the other video. So it's just, a way of giving us a guideline, but you might find I might be going back and forth between the rules. You don't have to follow them in that particular order. And also the most important thing is if you can chunk the rules and use them, end up with a few to remember, then that will help. So let's take a look at what we have here. First thing, I need to determine whether it's an ane or in. I've got all single bonds, so this one is an ane. That's rule number one. And then once we do that, we determine the principal chain or the main chain, which is, if I count from here, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if I do it this way, it means everything else that's outside the principal chain becomes a branch. If I look at this side chain, we've got CH2, CH2Br. We haven't been dealt with that before in any of the theory that we have done. So we are now going into unfamiliar territory. We are just like looking at something we haven't seen before. It means we're doing something wrong, because the rules I've taught you will work if you have identified your chain correctly. So we've got two chains here. This one going that way, which has got 5, and I've got this one here, which also has 5 going this way. So what I'll do is I'll pick the second one, because there is no other chain. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have this one as well. It's a possibility. There's nothing stopping me from doing this. I'll try to name with the two chains, one that starts here and ends there, right? And another one that starts here and ends there. We'll see what we get from that. Now, so my principal chain, I'm going to pick this one there, which has got 5. So the prefix for 5 is pent. So my principal, the main name for this one here is a pentane, but I now need to identify the side chains. The bromo is one of my side chain, and then from here I've got this side chain, which is an ethyl group, and on here I've got a methyl group, and on here I've got another methyl group. I'm starting naming this way. Now, having done this, what do? I've identified the long chain, the principal name. I need to number the carbons on the principal chain in such a way that I get the lowest possible combination of locant numbers or location numbers. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, if I number it from this side, the total of location numbers that I've got is going to be a 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, and then here I've got a 5, 2, 3, 3, 5. What if I number it from this side, from the opposite side, which is starting from the end that has got bromine? If I start from the side that has got bromine, from this side here, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my combination of location numbers are going to be 1, 3, 3, 4, which is, this one is the best possible option because it gives me the least number on the least sum of locant numbers. So that's my best option. This is my carbon number 1. So I've named these ones already. This one is bromo, and we've got 2 methyl groups. Now we need to put everything together the side chains in alphabetical order, stating their position on the chain, and then we add the principal name at the end. Now, so bromo is going to be the first one because it comes first alphabetically, and then bromo is followed by ethyl, which is next, and then I've got methyl last. So this one will be 1 dash bromo dash 3 dash ethyl dash 3 comma, because I've got 2 methyl groups, comma 4 dash dimethyl pentane. This is the name of this one here. If I was to name it the other way, it's gonna make my video slightly longer, but it doesn't matter. It's part and parcel of the game, right? So we've got, if we number it this way, going that way, sorry, if we identify the longest chain as this one here, if we number from this end, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 3, 5. It's still same as that, but if we number it from this end, we're going to have 1, 3, 3, 4, and it will be named the same as here because we've got a 3 methyl group is on carbon 3, and we've got another one on carbon 4. It should be 3, 4 dimethyl, and if bromo is going to be on number 1 and ethyl is going to be on number 3, so whichever chain we choose here, we will get the same name. Right, that's it for this question. Let's move on to the next one. If you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. Send me a message and I'll look into it. Here is our next alkane to name. Because they are alkanes, you know, I think that's the reason why sometimes I forget to remember the rule of figuring out whether it's in or ain. But let's take a look at this one here. If I count from here, I'm just looking at it here, and I think this looks like a long chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is there anything else that can give me more than 8? If I come from this side to that way, it gives me 7. From this side that way, it gives me, yeah. If I come round this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the best I can make here is 8. So I know that it's an ane because they are all single bonds. So it's ANE. So my prefix is oct. Now looking at what we have here, we can now identify the side chains, and also we've numbered. Well, first of all, we need to identify the side chains before we determine whether our numbering is correct. So we've got a side chain here, right? We've got a side chain. Might change the color, it will help. In color to red. We've got a side chain here, a side chain there, right? 2 methyl groups. And then if we go that way, we group this whole thing into a side chain. This becomes a propyl, yeah? This becomes a propyl side chain. And then this one, I've got a methyl right there. We've got another methyl here. And a methyl here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 methyls, 1 propyl group. Right, okay. So to put together the name, we know it ends in ane. We need to figure out which is the heavily substituted side of the chain. It's this one here, because we've got 1, 2, 3 right at the beginning of this. If we try to number it from this side, our heavily substituted side, is going to end up with higher numbers, which is what we don't want. So my name for this one is going to be 2, 2, 3, 6 dash 1, 2, 3, 4. The prefix for 4 is tetra, tetramethyl, right? And then we come here, we've got a 4 dash propyl and octane. Right, okay. That's it for this question. Let's move on to the next one. The next alkane is this one here. It's another one which is a bit windy. Let's see, if I start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I go this way, it's 7. If I go this way, it's 7, 8, 7, 8. So I can either go left or right. I can go this way. So it's 7 and then 8. So we've got 8, a chain of 8 there. Now we need to identify it's an ane because it's got all single bonds. And these are our side chains. We've got an ethyl group here. And we've got a methyl group right there. And we've got a methyl group right here. So the name for this one here is going to be I can't number it the way I've numbered it here, guys. Why? Because this side here is the most heavily substituted. So this one is must be my carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5. I'm only interested in this 5 because that's where they are my side chains are. So this one is going to be named as 2, 3. So I've got this methyl group and that methyl group, 2 methyl groups, dash, dimethyl, dash, 4, dash ethyl, and we said it has got 8, so octane. This is how we name this one. I shall see you when you attempt the next question, which we are moving on to straight away. Get rid of all the ink on the slide. There's the next one. This one looks pretty straightforward. So the longest chain can either be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our longest chain right there. And it has got 5, so the prefix is pent and the ending is ane because we've got all single bonds. And for counting, we count from this side 1, 2, so we've got a methyl group on carbon 2, so it becomes 2 methyl dash methyl pentane. Okay, next one is going to be this one here. Let's erase all ink on the slide so that we can figure out this much easier. So on here, my longest chain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's 7 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It seems like I'm getting 7 all the way. Right, so it's 7, the longest chain. Now, if I look at 7, I'll decide if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This becomes my heavily substituted side. So I need to start numbering from here. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I've got on carbon 2, I've got a methyl group. On carbon 3, I've got an ethyl group, and on carbon 6, I've got a methyl group. So to name, I started here. Yeah, so to name this one here, I've got a methyl group and an ethyl group. So I need 3 ethyl dash ethyl dash 3, 2, 6 dash heptane. Okay, that's it on this one. We haven't got much to add on to that one. It seems this one seems pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at what we have next. I'll get rid of the ink on the slide. Okay, the next stop is we're going to be looking at naming alkenes. Just to keep these videos as short as I can make them, we are going to stop this video here and we'll come back to look at how we name alkenes as a skill practice activity.